welcome to the Bearded Horror Review. My name is Dan, aka the Boogey Man. Yeah, we're not keeping that up now, no. And on this show, I will watch a horror movie, either a classic or a new release, talk about some good points, talk about some bad points, if there are any of either. Give a rating out of 10 if I remember to do it, and let you know if I think it's worth a watch or not, in my humble opinion. And today, we're going to be talking about the legacy sequel that nobody asked for, but everyone's been waiting for.
Where's Beetlejuice?
Where's Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice 2, Electric Boogaloo. Beetlejuice, Attack of the Bones. We've all been waiting for this since it was announced.
Now's my chance.
I was hesitant to see this. I watched the trailer a little while ago and did a reaction on my Instagram, which is linked down below. And I was worried that it was going to be a retread of the original. But is it? Well, let's find out. Before we go forward, I will say possible spoilers. I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review. However, for me to talk about it in any kind of depth, I might have to alert to things or something. So if you don't want to know anything at all, here is your warning that you you can make it like a tree and off. But yeah, Beetlejuice. Like I said, it's a sequel that nobody really asked for. This original film came out in 1988, which is the year I was born. Man, I feel old. So it's 36 years later that this film has come out. So it's one of those where, like, yeah, we've been getting a lot of these legacy sequels lately. So does this film hold up? Before we carry on, guys, if you can leave a like and subscribe, it's a little thing for you, but it means so much to me. I would really appreciate it. But Beetlejuice, let's talk about the story. So the story is, like I said, 36 years later. I made a prediction on my Instagram that this is what was going to happen, and I was right, and I feel vindicated. Winona Ryder's character is now all grown up. She runs her own TV show where she basically does haunted house stuff, and her father passes away. I knew that was going to be the case. It's just obvious to me when you saw it that he was not going to be in the film. He was going to pass away, and they were going to have a funeral for him.
Death is hard.
Yeah, sometimes I think life is harder.
And to be able to have this funeral, they have to travel back as a whole family to the house from the original film, clear it all out, have a funeral for him. I'm not going to say why he's probably not in the film, for lots of reasons. But yeah, if you want to Google him, like that actor, and see what he got up to, it's up to you. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so Winona Ryder and her now daughter, Jenna Ortega.
My mom grew up here, that old house on the hill.
Wait, the ghost house? Is your mom Lydia Dietz?
Unfortunately.
And the mother from the original all travel back to the house. Where, unfortunately, spooky shenanigans happen, and Beetlejuice is back, baby, and some beetling happens. It's Beetle time. Like I said, a lot of people were kind of skeptical about this film. I was skeptical. I was worried that it was going to be a retread of the original, which a lot of these legacy sequels have become, let's face it.
The juice is loose.
But I was pleasantly surprised. It was not. It is a very good film. I'm just going to say it flat out. I really enjoyed this film. It was so well done. I really enjoyed seeing Winona Ryder back in the saddle, and the woman who plays her mother, I can't remember, here's her name. It felt like they had never stopped playing these characters and they just walked right back into them. Really good. It was really good to see them. And the dynamic has changed. We see so much more of the afterlife world, which was an amazing, really fun experience when I was watching the original. And yeah, like I said, they take the story in a different way. And for the most part, it's really great. There are some really standout stuff in this. Tim Burton is back doing what he does best, directing these bright, colourful, for lack of a better word, wacky films.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Really? Is this a figment of your imagination?
It's really a great film for him. He's really in his element, works really well. And watching this, they took some of the ideas that were in the original and elaborated them, embellished them, and built them up even more. Really good. I will say that one huge standout of this film, of course, was Michael Keaton.
I'm needed upstairs.
He must have got a phone call from Tim Burton who was like, listen, you putting the suit back on. I'm going to squeeze you into that stripy suit. I'm going to lather you in goo, and you're gonna buddy Beetlejuice. And Michael keeping promising, yeah, sure, right. Yeah. All right, and then yeah, off. There we go. It's really well. He's really good in it. There are some scenes in this where, like I said, they took what ideas from the original and embellished them. There's some fantastic scenes with some very small roles, but with well-known actors, and they just nail it. It just makes this film feel so much grander and so much more entertaining. And another fantastic part of this film was William Dafoe. He is so good in this film. I really enjoyed watching William Dafoe in this. He made me laugh every time he was on screen. It was just fun. This film is just fun to watch. And you know what? It's been so long since we've had a film where it was just fun. And I really needed that. It didn't take itself too seriously. It wasn't a retread of the first. It took the ideas and embellished them. Did I see some things coming? Of course I did. I'm not here for the twists and turns. Could I see certain things happening from a mile away? Yeah, of course I could. But do I care? No, because they were funny. And it was fun. It was really well done. And there was one standout for me in particular, because this is something I absolutely love whenever I see it in films, when it's done right. The practical effects. This film is full of practical effects and possible CGI that's made to look practical. It's just well done. It looks great. And you can tell it is a practical effect. And they work so well in this film. I think Tim Burton's really learned from his previous films where he put a lot of CGI and stuff, things like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Sweeney Todd. He put too much emphasis on CGI and stuff. And in this, there's so much practical stuff, and it's done so well. And one of the reasons I do really appreciate it, especially in this, is because so many films now will say, oh yeah, we did practical effects. I'm going to throw a film under the bus. Alien Romulus banged on about its practical effects. And then I saw the film. So many of the effects were clearly overlaid with CGI. Yeah, you may have filmed practical on the day, but you've tweaked it so much, it's CGI. It looks CGI. It's obvious. But in this, there's just practical effects. They're just on the screen. They're just there. Obviously, they've used visual and CGI to kind of enhance stuff, but you can tell that it's mostly practical. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it. They kept that essence of the 80s classic, and it works really well. There's some other stuff in this where, like, Beetlejuice did some things in the past where, you know, they've gone and like said, let's do more of this, more of that, pushing that envelope. And especially since it's easier to do now, they do it and it works really well. I will say there's two downsides to the film. Like, one very small one was that Monica Bellucci was kind of pushed as being in this, and she is barely in it. There's a couple of plot lines that don't seem to be related, and I was worried that they were doing the thing of, oh, they've got an idea of a film but they can't flesh it out, so they're adding another thing on and another thing, but actually it's three ideas that don't really coalesce. But they do, they all come together at the end, and it works really well, and I really enjoyed that. It was about an hour in, and I went, they've nailed it, they've got this, they've nailed it here. And yeah, I just found it really entertaining. Like I said, I would have loved more of Monica Bellucci, not for any reason. The main downside, so that was a minor gripe, the main downside, most underwhelming performance in this came from Jenna Ortega.
Ew.
Now, a lot of people like Jenna Ortega. She's been in a lot, she's a good actress, but she played a stereotype I'm angry at my mum daughter, and it just grated on me. I've seen that trope a million times before. It's been done so many times, and again, it's one of those where it's like, I'm angry at my mum, I'm angry at the things that are out of her control, but I'll blame her for them. It really bothers me, especially, she's rich, like they're a rich family because the mother or grandmother of the family, rich artist, Winona Ryder's character, she runs her own TV show, so they're not poor, they're wealthy. And it's that kind of, I resent my parents for being wealthy and successful thing, and it just bothered me. I didn't find it entertaining. I found her acting to be very quite standard and like bland. Like, I've seen her, like, I could have plucked her out of another film and put her in this, and I wouldn't have been able to tell you that the characters were different. That's the only thing that I noticed that I didn't really like about this. Like, was it the best film ever? No. But did I have a good time? Yes. Not to put down the film, but the only thing about this experience I had was the cinema experience itself. Nothing to do with the film, but while I was watching the film, everybody in the theatre was chatting, muttering away on their phones. There was a couple next to me that didn't stop talking at any point for the entire runtime of the film, and they were constantly rustling their packets. And I just thought it really took it out of me. For the first 40 minutes, I really struggled to concentrate. Honestly, that's not the fault of the film, but that's unfortunately the etiquette of cinema goers, I've noticed. And I had a lot of people message me, because I put it on my Instagram saying that was the experience I had. And a lot of people messaged me saying they had the same or similar experience. And that's a shame, because I think this film and many other films that I've seen recently, they deserve to be seen on the big screen. You know, you're not going to get that same experience if people can't be quiet and people can't be respectful of everyone around them. And it was a shame. But like I said, after the first 40 minutes, I was able to kind of drown it out. I struggle, maybe I notice it more than others, because I've got ADHD and I really struggle to kind of drown out that background noise. But, you know, it is what it is. But other than that, the film is great. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. If you like the first one, I would highly recommend seeing this one. You know, definitely go see it, especially while it's in theatres. I hope you enjoyed that review, guys. Have you seen it? Let me know what your thoughts were down below. Drop a comment, or if you are looking forward to seeing it, let me know. If you want to follow me on social media, the link's down below. And I'm working through my Patreon series at the moment of remakes, and I'll be putting other stuff up on there. I'm working through it all. It's just taking me a little time to get it up, but it is all going up. I'm going to be dropping a bunch of stuff soon, and it helps support the channel, helps keep it going. On top of that though, or if you just leave a like and subscribe, that would be awesome, guys. And until the next one, happy watching.